Hello and welcome back to the coaching session from leadershipmentor.com. In our time together this week, I want to share with you 7 questions that you can ask your team members, really in somewhat of a maybe an anonymous survey, and measure just how well you're doing as a coach. So we provide you with a lot of content that is basic information about how you can be a better coach, and coaching allows you to develop a team that really is self-motivated, self-guided, feels empowered, and they should really have a great relationship with you as their supervisor or manager because of the way that you coach. Because in coaching, we allow them to express their thoughts and their feelings, and we get them involved in solutions. So let's take a look at 7 questions that I would encourage you to pose to your team and just see how they would respond to these. So let's take a look at how you're doing. The first one is asks for my opinion frequently. So again, in our coaching session, hopefully we would be doing this, but we could also do this in team meetings in a group setting. But it's important that your team members feel that they are part of the solution and that you value what they're saying. Along with that, obviously, that you value that opinion, and I think that what that looks like is, do you actually use the information that they share with you? Do you just ask it and then nothing ever happens? Or do they actually see in some of the areas that you're asking for their opinion and their feedback that some of that actually gets implemented, and so obviously you value that? Provides flexibility in my decision making. Here we're talking about empowerment, and again, as part of the coaching process, I think that we probably should be allowing your team members to make some decisions within boundaries on how they're going to improve performance. So when we ask them questions and we help them to really define what the issue is, we want to encourage them in the coaching process to come up with some solutions. And as we've talked about a lot, we want to give them latitude to be involved in that decision-making process, and also in the day-to-day, even when you're not involved in their coaching, if they're involved with customers, do they have the ability to actually make certain decisions or a latitude to make a series of decisions depending on the situation where it's not, everything isn't cut and dry? Would you defend me in a meeting or in front of peers? This is an interesting question, and I think that this is really a relationship question. Do they believe that you as their supervisor or manager will step up and defend them when it's needed and necessary? So I think that, again, that just really speaks a lot about how well you've developed a relationship over time with your team. Listens to me when I have something to say. And here, my thought on this is really that it's more about what are we doing while they're sharing their information. When they come into our office or into our work area, do we really put everything else aside and listen to them? Or are we texting somebody, or glancing at our emails, thinking about answering the phone in between something that they're saying? That's going to send a really strong message, whether you're really listening to what they have to say or if you're just going through the motions. Welcomes my questions and suggestions. Here, this is similar to the one above, whether you listen. I think it's important that they feel like they can easily ask questions and provide suggestions, that we have created an environment as a coach that it's safe to not just make suggestions, but if it's something that's way out there, and oftentimes we don't know, those are some of the best ideas, but if they feel like they're not sure if it's a good idea or not, we don't want them just to hold on to that because they're afraid that you're not going to receive that very well. So again, part of the coaching process is that relationship and that sense that your team has, that you welcome any type of question or suggestion. Now, if a team member continues to ask the same question over and over, that's much different than if it's a question that's relevant to what they're doing. Maybe they're learning something new. And then finally, explains my goals clearly. And this one I think is really at the heart of coaching and being a good leader, is making sure that the people on our team clearly understand what their goals and objectives are. And in our coaching program, that's really one of the first things we do for starting out with the supervisor, the team leader, is we go through a process so that you can clearly identify what your goals and objectives are. So we obviously want to do that with our team members as well. So they need to have a really clear, concise idea what their goals are. So we should be providing them with a lot of feedback and be able to measure that on a regular basis. So when we sit down and coach them in our one-on-ones, then we're providing them with really how well they're doing in those areas. So it may not come up in every coaching session, but it certainly would come up at least once a month or maybe twice a month. So that's it on their questions. I just want to encourage you to really take a look at how well you're doing and measure that, get some feedback, and then go back and see maybe where there's some opportunity for you to improve. I appreciate your time this week. I hope you have a great week. Share this with somebody that you think would benefit from it, and I hope you have a great day.